Rolling around the corner here isn't the most human-looking humanoid we've ever seen, but it is the first robot ever employed by the Chamber of Commerce of Rome, Italy, and its job is to act as a guide to visitors at the city's temple of Empress Vibia Sabina and Emperor Hadrian, roughly 2,000 years after they themselves roamed Rome. No way of knowing what the ancient leaders would have thought of Adriano, who speaks both Italian and English, by the way, which is good for tourists. And at least one of them from Minnesota said once people get used to the idea, she thinks they'll give Adriano a shot. It has 36 sensors to get around and react to its surroundings. It took a year and a half and about $150,000 to develop it, and it's able to shake hands and wiggle eyebrows and encourage people to interact. Will Adriano become a permanent fixture that people will rely on for information like they do with tour guides or docents? Those questions are still up for debate. Adriano still lacks the human touch, though some are sure to get a charge out of it. We're not April Fooling when we welcome the best audience in news to the world from A to Z. I'm Carl Azus. We have a couple health-related topics for you today. One concerns fluoride in drinking water. Utah has just become the first state in America to ban it. What this means, starting in May, the state government will not allow Utah's water systems to add fluoride. What that is, a natural mineral that scientists say can protect teeth from decay caused by bacteria. Fluoride can restore minerals our teeth lose over time. Where it's used, in many toothpastes, mouthwashes, dental treatments, and it's added to the drinking water of between 65 and 75% of Americans. Most other countries, including those in Europe, do not add fluoride to drinking water. And some experts say it's not necessary because the mineral's widely available elsewhere. Why did Utah ban it from water supplies? The state representative who sponsored the bill says the fluoride added to water is classified as a drug because it's different than the natural mineral. She says that makes it harder to measure how much people are getting and that they should be able to choose for themselves whether they want to ingest fluoride and how much of it. The American Dental Association says Utah's new law disregards residents' oral health and that decades of fluoridating water have proven it's safe. The U.S. started doing that in 1945. However, a report released last year by the U.S. government indicated a link between high exposure to fluoride and lower IQ in children. The report said more studies are needed to better understand this.
During sleep, the body is at work, supporting healthy brain function and keeping up physical health. But getting those Z's doesn't always come easy. Around 35% of parents reported to the CDC that their child sleeps less than what's recommended for their age.
Sleep disturbances are really common in kids.
Dr. Scott Hadland with Mass General for Children says sleep sets the stage for the kind of day a child will have, affecting school performance and how they engage with others. Those who don't get enough sleep are at increased risk for injuries, obesity, type 2 diabetes, poor mental health, attention and behavior problems, and poor cognitive development.
The key here is to understand when there's an issue.
First, if sleep disturbances are persistent, happening multiple times a week for a long period of time. Second, if the sleep issues are leading to daytime problems. Finally, if you suspect a medical problem, for example, heavy snoring or gasping, could be a sign of obstructive sleep apnea.
I think the other thing I would say is that if a child does wake up in the middle of the night with some kind of sleep disturbance, it's really important for parents to respond calmly because that will help their child fall back asleep more quickly.
I'm Mandy Gaither.
Word knowledge. Which of these terms comes from a Latin word meaning of whom? Ego, quorum, carpe diem, status quo. The minimum number of people required to make something happen is a quorum, which is Latin for of whom.
On this date in world history, the U.S. House of Representatives met for the first time with a required quorum on this date in 1789. The chamber convened in New York, which was then the nation's capital, before it moved to Philadelphia and later Washington, D.C. Pennsylvania's Frederick Muhlenberg was elected as the first House Speaker. Apple was founded on this date in 1976 by Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. The company's first Apple I computer sold for $600. Apple was nearly bankrupt in the 90s, but new products like iMacs and later iPods gave Apple new life, and it's now one of the most profitable companies on earth. And former Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic was arrested on this date in 2001. He was transferred to an international criminal court where he was accused of genocide and war crimes for his actions during the conflict in Kosovo. Milosevic was found dead in prison before his trial wrapped up.
Where in the world? This island nation got its independence from France in 1960. French is an official language here, along with Malagasy. It's located off the southeastern coast of Africa, and its name is the title of an animated film franchise. This is Madagascar, an island rich in resources, but where poverty is widespread.
Shaving, sanding, sewing, painting. These ships are ready to take on the high seas. Well, sort of. They'll be packed up onto a much larger ship, which will then take them to top dollar customers. These craftsmen and women in Madagascar are some of the best in the world when it comes to model ships. The trade here began in 1993 when a Frenchman brought his skills to the island and began teaching others. 3 decades later, it's an entire artisan collective called The Village, and they've worked their way up to international fame, with notable clients including Prince Albert of Monaco and the King of Spain. 2 of their models are featured at a major festival in Venice, a celebration of the world's best artisans. It all starts with a humble group of 32 craftsmen and women in the capital city of Antananarivo. They've recreated all kinds of boats, from canoes to yachts to the famous Titanic. Maritime museums supply the village with actual blueprint plans of real vessels.
There aren't all the details, but it allows us to produce a modern boat that matches more what our clients see in their daily life.
One ship model can take anywhere from 1 to 10 months. It's well worth it, though. Larger models sell for over $11,000. That clientele should be growing. Good timing, too. The pandemic cut the island ship model sales by 60%, from selling 300 a year to only 100. Last year, 80% of Madagascar's population lived in poverty. But workmanship like this could help in some small way to turn the tide of the island's economy.
What day is it?
It's not known how April 1st came to be April Fool's Day, a time for playing practical jokes. But one popular theory says it dates back to the 16th century when a French king changed the calendar. Those who didn't know about the change or didn't observe it were allegedly called April Fools.
Working our way through more than 890,000 shout-out requests we have at worldatozorg. We're moving southeast to northwest, starting in Port Charlotte, Florida, with Mr. Santa Maria's class. Hello to the Mariners of Murdoch Middle School in the Sunshine State. From the Empire State of New York, a warm welcome to Mr. Pachenko's class. The Tigers are here from North Salem Middle High School in North Salem. And if you're like, that's not Northwest, this is Mrs. Merculie's class. We see you at Wendler Middle School in Anchorage. The Rams are in the last frontier of Alaska. Scientists say geckos, small lizards found in warm parts of the world, tend to live anywhere between 7 and 20 years. That's what makes a recent finding on an island of New Zealand so remarkable. Meet Antoinette and Brucey Baby. They were marked by a research group back in the 1960s and just recently rediscovered. That makes them at least 60 years old, though they might be older than that because researchers didn't know their ages when they were tagged. Geckos don't have predators on the island. So if they're looking to go somewhere safe, they might want to tell their friends, I'm not teasing when I say I will fly away to New Zealand where there's an island paradise with no cat scratch fever, no snakes alive, no one to rat me out, nothing too awkward because it's not for the birds. It's one place geckos can geico with no need for insurance. I'm Carl Jesus for The World from A to Z. Thank you for watching. You mean the world to me.